Hello everyone, I'm Andrea Mesa. I'm a creative content director collaborating with Patrick Wins, who I also want to thank for this amazing opportunity to be able to talk to you, to share a little bit about how it is that I got here, what I can offer to help you with, and even give you some quick tips and tricks so that you can also create your own very good content for your brand or your business. So just a very brief overview about where it is that I'm from, how I got here. I'm originally from Miami, Florida. My entire background has always been in creative creation. So I studied digital film and video. That was my bachelor's degree in Miami, which then led me to register my own company called Mesa Media Works, which I currently have right now. And we're dedicated to creating content for entrepreneurs and for small to medium-sized businesses, as well as any content that they publicize online or that they like to post even on YouTube. So that's pretty much what we're doing right now, creating a lot of content. I then decided to move here to Barcelona, where I studied my MBA and a master's degree in marketing. So to continue, right now our clients range from people like Sage, Patrick Wind, of course, consulting companies, communication companies, and even smaller businesses here in Barcelona as well. And for all of them, we either create ads, webinars, company videos. It ranges from a bunch of different kinds of video content that we can create for them. But that's pretty much what we've always specialized in. So just to give you guys a quick preview into behind the scenes working with Patrick Wind, of course, it's always a blast shooting with him. I've been shooting for a bit over a year now. And we've been centering on creating content for YouTube, trying to give you guys free and very useful content, as well as exclusive content on the Ads Accelerator course as well. So that's pretty much what we've been up to. And just to get started already and try to just give you guys the content that you've been waiting for, let's talk about 6 things that you would have to consider when creating valuable video content and ads. So number 1, first I wanted to touch on the structure, a 1-minute ad. This is a very quick video template that I think you guys could follow. So first off, we start with part 1, the attention grabber. You want to make sure that you grab the audience's attention, whoever it is that your target audience may be. Part 2, you want to state the problem after you grab their attention. You need to relate to them. You have to communicate that you understand their pain points, what it is that you think you can solve. So first off, you want to do that as well. Then part 3, you want to establish your credibility or your quality if you're in e-commerce as well. This is where you want to show them that you hold either the authority or the quality or the service that can definitely help solve their problem. Part 4, state a solution. So after you've already established credibility, you want to state the solution that you're offering. You want to show them how it is that you're going to help them. And then part 5, of course, you can never end an ad without a call to action and a very clean and clear call to action. Don't make it 5 different ones where it's like you want them to email or call you and then also sign up for a webinar. Like, you just want one simple call to action. And if you can emphasize this even more with text on the screen, it would be even better. And of course, in the copy that you create during the ad as well. And this is a quick time breakdown of a 1-minute ad, just to give you guys sort of a range of about the seconds that you can dedicate to each part. So you would dedicate, of course, 3 to 5 seconds grabbing attention. And this is because that's probably as much time as possible as you have as the person is scrolling through their phone or on their desktop. You only have that amount of time to grab their attention. So either make it bold text. If they're on desktop, it's very probable that they're also listening. But so then don't just rely on sound to be the attention grabber here, but you also want to make sure that whatever it is you're grabbing their attention with can do it very fast. Then you want to state the problem for approximately 10 to 15 seconds. Then, of course, you establish the credibility. And then after you say why it is that they should trust you with this, state the solution that you're offering them. And then, of course, introduce the CTA. And I want to explain a little bit about what the difference is here. For example, let's say you want the CTA to be to sign up for your webinar. So then you would say, And here's where we're giving you the opportunity. You're not going to want to miss this webinar. We're going to teach you point A to A, B, C, and D, or whatever. You just tell them very briefly why they should not miss this opportunity. So you either want to tell them because it's very scarce, there's very low opportunities, there's a limited amount or a limited time. So you want to get that going. And then of course you give them the final CTA, which is where you tell them, okay, you're not going to want to miss this. Sign up for our webinar now. You have the next 24 hours for this exclusive opportunity, something like that. And then of course, that's how you can close it. And studies show that 45 to 50 seconds is the optimal length for video engagement on Facebook and Instagram ads. It is pretty much the best amount of time so that they actually watch the entire thing through, being that you actually go through these points, or that you make the content very, very consumable. So number 2, lighting. And this matters not only for ads, but it also matters for any type of content that you may be doing. If you're an entrepreneur trying to increase your brand reputation, or if you're a business or an e-commerce and you want to showcase certain aspects or qualities, or even just make informative content, which matters a lot now, because if you're creating valuable content, you want people to consume it. So in this, if you're doing it yourself, lighting matters. And this is why I wanted to give you guys these quick tips in case you're doing it for, let's say, your own iPhone or your own camera. If you bought yourself a camera and you want to know how to light yourself a bit better, because you may or may not have the budget to maybe have an exclusive production made, right? So for best video quality, I would say to avoid being backlit. So this is having the sun behind you. And of course, any harsh lighting. As you can see on the first image on the left, you see those very harsh shadows under the eyes, and that's because the sun is very high up in the sky. It's probably 12 or 1 p.m., which is when the sun is highest, which throws off those shadows and it makes it look very rough on faces. So pretty much the best time to shoot outside is usually 1 to 2 hours before sunset. So late evening, late afternoon. And that's pretty much the best time that you're going to get very soft lighting. Or just make sure you shoot on a day that's pretty cloudy, which also works kind of as a diffuser for the sun and makes the lighting look very well on your face. It's very soft lighting. It makes you look better. For self-made videos, of course, I also wanted to say that, let's say you're doing a webinar or a very quick thing in your own office. So you want to use lamps, lights, or even a front window, any sorts of frontal lighting to light your face very well, because the quality really matters when people are trying to consume your content. And whether this is a very live webinar or a live video that you're doing on Facebook, a live feed that you're doing anywhere, you're going to want people to see you clearly and to be able to actually be able to see you very well. So I would suggest this, and I've even made this small suggestion to certain other people that just tell me, Andrea, I don't really have money for lights and I just really want to, shoot something quick in my office. What do you suggest so that I light myself better? And I tell them, well, do you have a monitor in your office? And they're like, yeah, I have a screen that I can use. I'm like, okay, well, open up Google and put it full screen. And they're like, Google? I'm like, yeah, because it's a completely white screen. And you just open it and it kind of gives you that very soft light on your face, and voila, you have a very good frontal light. So that's a very quick trick, I guess you could use for very quick videos that you want to shoot. Let's say you want to do a quick Instagram story or you want to do live feeds. This works perfectly well. Number 3, the audio. The cleaner, the better. You don't want to have people trying to struggle hearing you, or because you hear background noise, you hear cars, you hear people. You always want the audio to be very understandable. So if you plan on recording with a phone, I always suggest to avoid recording in windy areas, mostly because you always hear, as you can hear there. It's like when wind hits a microphone, even if it's an iPhone, it's very dirty audio. That's why. And you also want to avoid recording in maybe a very wide open room that has no rugs, nothing that's gonna, dampen the audio a little bit, because you're gonna get that echo that doesn't sound well. So that's another thing as well. The best option I would suggest is using a completely separate device for audio recording. So let's say the person recording you is using an iPhone, and then you have your own iPhone in your phone with a microphone attached so that you can talk into that one. So you have clean audio going into one iPhone, and then the other iPhone is actually recording the actual image. And then you just piece those together in post, and you have a very, very good quality video. Now, for even cleaner audio, of course, I would suggest investing in an actual lav microphone. And a great option is the Rode Smart Lav for iPhones if you're using that. This is, of course, I'm offering very accessible and usable options for people who want to create their own content at home, or for people who are just starting off and want to know how to get their quality a little bit higher. So this is ideal. Number 4, framing. You want to look your best. And I've seen this happen on many occasions, even on LinkedIn, when I see people trying to record their own videos. You want to position the camera or the phone at eye level, not low angled, because I know most women know this. It gives a not very appealing look, so if it's really low. So the best here is to just use a tripod and to position it so it's directly at eye level, which is the most appealing, the better look. And it just looks like you've at least taken some time to position a camera well, and not just a webcam or anything, and didn't really think things through. And of course, when framing yourself, consider the above head space, because I've also seen this as well. People are doing live streams on either LinkedIn or Facebook, trying to teach what they know, and the framing is way off, and it makes the person look uncomfortable. It also makes the audience feel uncomfortable. So just avoid overall that uncomfortable negative space. Okay, so number 5, the ad format. I want you to know before you hit record. This means that you should know for what platform you're going to record. So let's say you want to, for instance, shoot a horizontal video, right? Like most videos. But then you decide that you want to do it for an Instagram story. Well, then now you're putting a full landscape, which is a 16:9 ratio, into a 9:16, and you're going to have a lot of space on the top and on the bottom, unless you, of course, zoom in and then you make it full screen, but you're cutting off parts of that you've recorded. So pretty much overall, if you're going to shoot for Instagram stories, you want to keep in mind that you want to keep the left and the right very clean if you're going to shoot horizontally. That way, when you put it in an Instagram story, you're not cutting off anyone's head or anything that's something that you actually wanted to show. So the best action is just to decide what ratio beforehand, and then you shoot accordingly. That's the best also for avoiding ad placement errors or avoiding uploading issues as well. This works for ads as well as for any other uploading that you want to do. And lastly, because you want to take advantage of the ad space. If you're going to pay to use a vertical Instagram story and you're not taking the top and the bottom into consideration, then you just wasted a huge amount of, let's say, screen real estate space that you could have used to communicate your message to your audience. So you also want to take advantage of that. That's why this is very important too. Number 6, captions. You want to consider who listens. Facebook confirms that captioning videos increases the average time, the video time, by 12%. And this always helps. I know that most of you that have been on either Facebook or Instagram have seen that when your audio is off, and that's usually most of the time because when we either commute or we're with other people, we don't listen to audio. We actually do read the captions, being that the ad actually captures our attention, right? And you want to consider that most B2B ads are viewed with office Wi-Fi, and the audio is of course off because these people are inside their own offices, right? They're not supposed to be watching ads on full volume, you know? And most B2C ads are also viewed during commute with the sound off, as I've said. So this is pretty much why you always want to consider including captions or including subtitles, because it's very important that the person can actually see what you're trying to communicate, even with the audio off. So that's just super ideal to have. And lastly, just remember that whether you're creating ads or branded content, you want to make sure that you go into this checklist. These 4 very quick things. First, make it of consumable quality. So this is the audio, this is the lighting, this is just the overall appeal of the ad or the content that you're creating. Second, you want it targeted in your buyer's journey. So let's say it's the first time a person is getting to know your brand. This is the first video they're seeing of what you do. You want to make sure you communicate that. And then the second time that you retarget and you also communicate them, then you already know there that they know you, so you can communicate the message a little bit differently, because you don't have to share about your authority, you don't have to share about your quality. Really, all you have to share about is what you're providing them, what you want them to do, what you're inviting them to do. So just consider that as well. Third, you want to provide value. Just make sure that you're providing value to your target person, because you want to consider their needs, their pain points. And lastly, encourage engagement. It always helps when you leave it open with either a CTA, so they sign up, or they even ask you, they call you. Or if you just want to encourage them also to increase brand awareness, you want them to comment, to ask, to be intrigued by the content that you're creating. Whether this is an ad or whether this is video content that you're creating, just to increase brand awareness and increase your visibility overall online. And yeah, so lastly, if you need any video content creation in Barcelona, this is my number. Follow me on Instagram. Of course, I'm on Facebook. And yeah, as I was saying, we are creating digital content for all businesses, startups, and entrepreneurs. This is anything ranging from company videos to Facebook and Instagram ads to any content that you want to create, like interviews, any sort of video content creation that can benefit your brand, that can benefit your business or your e-commerce. We're happy to help. So just reach out if anything. We're also happy to answer any questions. And thank you again, Patrick, for this opportunity to be able to share with you guys. And I hope you have an amazing week. Take care, everyone. Thank you.